The restaurant lights glowed softly against the evening sky, reflecting off the tall glass windows, casting a golden warmth on everyone who stepped inside. But she stood frozen just outside the entrance, clutching her small purse. With trembling hands, her eyes darting to her reflection on the glass, her lipstick wasn't perfect, her shoes worn new, and her dress wasn't from any expensive store. It was the same modest navy blue one she had worn to countless church gatherings. Her chest rose and fell in uneven breaths, as if the simple act of walking into that building was more terrifying than climbing a mountain. Inside, he was already waiting. The man who had asked her out not out of pity, but because he had seen something in her that others had overlooked for years. Yet she lingered by the door, convincing herself she was good enough, whispering under her breath, "I don't deserve this date." The words broke into the night like a secret confession no one was supposed to hear, and that was when everything changed. But before I tell you what happened next, let me pause for just a moment. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love to heal even the deepest wounds, then please take a second to like this video, comment below with your thoughts, share it with a friend who might need encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep these inspiring stories alive. Now let's go back to her story. Her name was Eliza. Life had never been gentle with her. She was the kind of woman who had learned to survive storms quietly, without anyone noticing how much she was drowning inside. Years ago, she had fallen in love young, trusting a man who had promised forever but delivered nothing but bruises and broken promises. When he left, he did just abandon her. He stripped away her confidence, her sense of beauty, and her belief that she was worthy of being loved. She raised her son alone, working long shifts at a small diner, wiping down tables and carrying trays heavier than her fragile frame. Every smile she forced for a customer was practice in hiding the exhaustion that followed her everywhere. When Marcus first saw her, it wasn't in some romantic setting. It was at that very diner, late one evening when most people had already gone home. He had been traveling for work and stopped in for coffee. She looked tired, her hair tied back hastily, her hands red from scrubbing. But when she leaned down to serve his drink, she offered a smile, small, genuine, and full of quiet resilience. It was that smile, humble yet radiant, that left him staring long after she had walked away. He returned again the next day, and the next, not just for the coffee, but for the woman who made even a weary place feel like home. Marcus once loud or flashy. He did drive a car that screamed wealth, though he could have. He was the kind of man who believed true worth one's measured in things but in character. He saw something in Eliza that reminded him of strength unpolished but rare, like a diamond hidden under layers of dust. And after weeks of small conversations, of learning that she loved old books and quiet sunsets, he finally asked her out. She had laughed nervously, thinking he was joking. But when she saw his serious expression, her heart skipped. Still, in the back of her mind, an old voice whispered, "You don't deserve this." And that was why, on the night of their first date, she stood frozen at the entrance of the restaurant, ready to run away. When Marcus spotted her through the glass, his face lit up instantly. He stood, adjusted his jacket, and walked out toward her. Eliza dropped her gaze, murmuring again, "I don't deserve this date," she thought. Maybe he would hear and step back, maybe realize she wasn't worth the effort. But Marcus stopped in front of her, and instead of frustration or confusion, his eyes softened in a way that caught her completely off guard. He said something she never expected, words that would stay with her forever. "You don't deserve this date?" He repeated gently, as if tasting the words. Then he smiled, not the shallow kind, but one that reached his soul. "Eliza, you deserve so much more than just this date. You deserve every smile you, forgotten you, were allowed to have, every joy you convinced yourself in for you. If anything, I don't deserve the honor of sitting across from a woman as strong as you." The air around them seemed to still. For the first time in years, tears filled her eyes, not the kind born from pain, but from being seen, truly seen. She nodded, unable to speak, and allowed him to guide her inside. The evening that followed was nothing like the romantic comedies she had once watched with longing as a teenager. It wasn't about fancy meals or perfect words. It was about the little things. Marcus listening more than he spoke, asking questions about her son with genuine interest, laughing at her shy jokes as if they were the funniest things he had ever heard. He never once made her feel small, never once looked at her as if she did T belong. Instead, every glance from him whispered silently, "You matter. You are worthy." But Eliza's scars did vanish in one night. Every compliment made her heart stutter with disbelief. Every kind gesture triggered a voice inside her reminding her of all the times she had been told she was enough. When Marcus reached for her hand across the table, she hesitated, pulling back for a moment, unsure if she could trust that touch. He noticed. But instead of forcing, he simply smiled and left his hand there, open, waiting. And slowly, so slowly, she placed hers in his. That simple act felt like climbing out of years of darkness into a patch of sunlight she thought she'd never find again. The date ended with a quiet walk along the city streets, the lamps glowing above them, the world around them hushed. Eliza confessed how afraid she had been, how she almost did come. Marcus listened without interruption, then told her softly, "Fear does erase your worth. It just proves you've been brave for too long. Let someone else be strong for you sometimes." That night when she returned home, her little boy was already asleep, his toy cars scattered on the floor. She tucked him in, kissed his forehead, and sat on the edge of her bed. For the first time in years, she did feel empty. She felt hope. Weeks turned into months. Marcus never rushed her healing. He showed up not with grand gestures, but with consistency, helping with grocery, fixing a leaky faucet, showing up to watch her son's school play. He made her believe piece by piece that love one's supposed to hurt, that kindness one's a weakness, and that second chances were real. Still, Eliza sometimes whispered to herself, "I don't deserve this," whenever joy crept in, and Marcus's reply was always the same, "You deserve more than you'll ever believe." Though words began to carve their way into her heart, until one day, she no longer doubted them. She started wearing her favorite dress without shame, speaking with more confidence at work, smiling without forcing it. Her co-workers noticed, her son noticed, the mirror noticed. The woman who once stood trembling outside a restaurant ready to flee from happiness was now slowly learning to walk toward it with steady steps. And all it took was one person, one moment, one reply that changed everything. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Your support means more than you know. It helps us spread hope and kindness further than ever. Special request, comment below with the words "I believe in second chances." If Eliza's journey reminded you that everyone deserves love and healing, because sometimes the simplest words like "you deserve more" can heal wounds deeper than we realize.